July is going to be one hell of a month in regards to dividend payouts. So I found 3 companies that I feel are undervalued right now that pays out their dividends in July. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first stock I think is undervalued right now is Altria Group, stock ticker MO, and over the last year it's down 8.5%. And if we look at valuation, it has a PE non-GAAP 4 ratio of just below 9, and compare that with the 5-year average is 28% below. It also does have some interesting price to cash flow, which also is looking pretty good, and the price to book isn't calculated, so I'll jump over that one. Altria has a dividend yield of 8.3 almost, and a payout ratio around 76, and that isn't too shabby because they have promised to pay out around 80% of their earnings, so this is well within their means. They have dividend growth for 18 years, and the 5-year growth rate is just over 8%. If we look at the financials, it also seems pretty good. It has growing revenue. The net income is a little bit weird. I'm not too sure how this one works, so you definitely want to look closer into that. It also has pretty decent cash flow, with cash from operations starting at 4.9 and now at 8.4 billion, and doesn't have too many capital expenditures at all. They are also using quite a lot of money on buying back shares, which is something they stopped during 2020 but now have started up again, and they pay out quite a good amount in dividends. If you compare their total debt to the free cash flow, it's also looking pretty good. They can easily cover their long-term liabilities with their free cash flow, so not too worried around here. The second stock I'm going to look at is Cisco Systems, stock ticker CSCO, and over the last year they are down roughly 16.5%. But they are trading at a forward PE non-GAAP ratio of 13.14, which is 15% below roughly of their 5-year average, and they are also somewhat good in the price to book and the price to free cash flow. In the dividends, we see here that they have a dividend yield of 3.45. They have a payout ratio of 44%, which is below that 60% rate I would like it to be at, which is pretty good to see. The dividend has been growing for 10 consecutive years, and they have a 5-year compounded growth rate of 6.85%. So that seems pretty good all in all. If we look at the financials, they are growing, albeit a bit slowly right now, I would say, but the net income is pretty good. They had a bad year here, but over the years it's been growing steadily, so that's pretty good to see. Cisco also received plenty of cash from their free cash flow, 15.5 billion and only $700 million in capital expenditures. Crazy to see, huge amounts to be honest. And they are also using quite a lot of money to buy back shares. They've done that over the years, and a lot of money goes to dividends, which is nice to see. And they are also repaying their debt, which is really, really good. As we can see here, the total debt is almost non-existent compared to the free cash flow they are generating, so they can easily pay it back. The last stock I want to take a closer look at is Medtronic, stock ticker MDT, and over the last year they are down almost 28%. And if we look into valuation, you can see here that they're trading at a non-GAAP forward PE ratio of 16.21, which is 20% below their 5-year average, which is looking really, really good. And the price to cash flow is a bit high, but I think that is okay. The price to book is really, really good here as well. And if we look at the dividend stats, you can see that it has a dividend yield of over 3%, payout ratio as well as 44%, which is really nice to see, below that 60% threshold, compounded annual growth rate of almost 8% over the last 5 years, and the dividend has been growing for 43 consecutive years, which is really, really nice to see. If we're looking at the financials, they have been growing their total revenue over the last 5 years. We can also see the net income is steadily growing from 2018 to 22, with a very bad year in 21 for some reason. They are also growing their free cash flow. As you can see here, the cash from operation is steadily growing, and the capital expenditures is staying within somewhat the same area, I would say. So even with the total debt being around 24 billion, I see no problems with them paying that back. And they are also using the money to purchase back common stocks and paying out dividends. As we can see here, it's been roughly 6 billion. In 22, they have used on that. They had a bad year for repurchase in 21, but that is probably coming off something during COVID or something. I'm not really sure. That is something you need to look into, of course. So This is it. 3 stocks that I think are undervalued right now that pays out their dividends in July. So let me know down in the comments what you think about them, if it's something you already hold or if it's something you might be interested in buying. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I would hope you are interested in doing so. It really helps me out a ton, and I'll be hopefully seeing you in the next video. Bye.